we had to get all the women who we featured in 2021 as our first few, Wonder Women, and we realized that the women that we interviewed in 21, 22, we needed to get them back and figure out what's been happening in their lives. Hi, welcome back, Malini.
Thank you for having me. When we met, we were trying to be the next big unicorn, right? We were selected on the first season of Shark Tank, and we were one of the 5 companies that weren't even aired. They said, you're too much of an activist, you're not really a company. It really destroyed my co-founder. We were just not becoming the unicorn we hoped we were. It forced me to go back and look at it. Why am I even trying to do this? I said, I'm not trying to do this to make so much money, right? I'm trying to do because there is work that needs to be done. The waste is such a vast space. So we started working with state governments. We would just go to CSRs and say, donate money because we want to do this. They saw value in the work that we did. And we were able to, do large scale transformation. And we said, if we're not about money and we want change across India, then it would just take us 25 years to do it ourselves. Why not we just teach other people to do so that they can replicate what we do? We found a great politician. We worked with them in transforming and converting around 2,000 women and girls to sustainable menstruation. But we also then trained women there to stitch cloth pads. They can do local employment generation, local awareness. We taught around 60 women and they've converted more than 1 lakh women.
Wow. Oh my God, that's fantastic. Really good.
But I found that I'm not stressed about, we're doing all the hard work of transforming and building awareness and somebody else is taking the market. Take it away. There is transformation that only we can do, right? So when we had gone to Kerala, somebody else has done a program with somebody else, taken the cheapest cups, found that out of 8,000 cups that they distributed, only 300 were picked up and only 100 have changed. Whereas even in rural areas like in Mysore Gram Panchayat, we were able to show 94% conversion. I've also got my dream project. So this was around sustainable menstruation, which is the dirtiest part of waste. I went to my local MLA and said, I want to do something new. So he put me in touch with a Gram Panchayat and he said, work there. Some people have tried. There is a community group which is eager, but other companies have tried working with them and they've not been successful. And so I started working with them. We've raised some CSR funds. And it's coming together so beautifully. RDP, our Rural Development and Panchayati Raj, came and said all the rural solid waste management has to be handled by women. So we're teaching women to drive tractors. They're delivering already 95% segregated waste.
Welcome again, Shifali.
Hi, Mandeep. My mantra in life has been, ye zindagi na milegi dobara, you only live once. So I try to make best use of whatever time is available beyond work, and that is my me time. I've been doing yoga and playing tennis. Then I like to read about history, geography. I always believe that history is a path to the future. I have done a lot of self-development reading also, even psychology as a matter of fact. Yesterday I met a client who I met after a very long time and he said, have you left Axis? I said, no. He said, no, I've been seeing you on the Facebook. I felt that, you're on sabbatical or something because sometimes I see you roaming a different city or something like that. Sometimes you're going to the park and sometimes I see you cooking. I try to show that there is life beyond work and that's about it. I think it's very important to be first disciplined. If I'm not going for my morning activity like a yoga or a walk, running, I get that time and I, read. That helps me to kind of collect my thoughts. I try to make a post on LinkedIn, which has been recommended by my mentor.
Hey, Sukanya, welcome back.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be interacting with you anytime, Mandeep. This was more about the journey of strengthening the different foundation stone of Prathaa, like from last time to this time. So the first thing what I've managed to do is put in place the human factor, the rock solid, talented, committed, passionate team in place. And I'm very proud of the team that works in Prathaa right now. I have been mostly focusing on initiating and taking forward a conversation with our community of Prathaa women in the form of the narrative of our designs or different other platforms. For us, it's all about authenticity, it's all about storytelling, and we've tried to maintain a continued conversation with them in different forms. Sometimes it's like face to face, like in the exhibitions, like you were talking about. Sometimes it is through the collections, a narrative of the collections that we launch. Each of our collections also have cause to address to, like our current collection, which is called Ashte. It's all about slowing down in life, you know. So it has a very, each of our, this thing has a communication that goes forward. There was a collection called Shwet, okay, which was all white, okay.
I remember.
Yes. So it was all about accepting and embracing all the imperfections in oneself and the people around you. Our community really relates to each of these narratives that we talk about, and that's how a conversation starts. I've been exploring a lot of new clusters. Like I'm like a child in a toy shop when I'm learning or discovering new weaves and interacting with my weavers and artisans, right? So that exploration goes constantly, and 10 to 12 days in a month I spend in the villages with them, and that is my high point, you know, like that is something I've not delegated. We take feedback very seriously. We have few customers, the early evangelists, the loyal customers also are not always loyal customers. Sometimes, like a new customer, like I myself fix up a 15-20 minutes call with them, understand the positives and negatives, know the story behind whatever you're buying. So it's not necessary that you buy 10 saris or 10 dresses, but buy the right thing, and the right thing will have a longer life cycle with you, So
Hi, welcome back, Aditi.
हेलो नमस्ते मनदीप जी। 2021 से काफी सारे प्रोग्राम्स हुए, जैसे गिरनार महोत्सव हुआ तो वहाँ गिरनार रत्न का अवार्ड मिला हमें। उसके बाद संस्कृति महोत्सव हुआ थाने में, वहाँ पे मिला अवार्ड। वेद इंस्टीट्यूट के अपने एनुअल प्रोग्राम्स हुए, कॉन्सर्ट्स हुए, किड्स हैव बीन परफॉर्मिंग इन कॉम्पिटिशन लेवल आल्सो एंड विनिंग देम। एग्जाम्स होते हैं गवर्नमेंट के गंधर्व महाविद्यालय के, एंड दे आर आल्सो आउटशाइनिंग विद डिस्टिंक्शन इन फर्स्ट ग्रेड. So there is happy news all around. There is no more creative work happening in terms of collaboration. जो अभी latest हुआ काला घोड़ा आर्ट फेस्टिवल में with a belly dance in Kathak. Yes. So we've kind of recreated that जो हमने 2008 में किया था, and we did it with live musicians on the floor, और उसका भी काफी अच्छा response हमें मिला. There is also a lot of things happening in terms of the event, क्योंकि वसुदेव कुटुंब जो सरकार ने इंट्रोड्यूस किया है, उसकी वजह से क्लासिकल और फोक डांस को काफ़ी अहमियत मिली है. वी ऑल्सो परफॉर्मिंग एट नेशनल लेवल्स फॉर एवरी सिंगल प्रोग्राम जो होते हैं, जैसे ONGC का कोई प्रोग्राम हुआ, G20 का, या गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया पे G20 का प्रोग्राम हुआ, वेयर ऑल द डेलीगेट्स वर इनवाइटेड फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. सो वी वर फॉर्चुनेट इनफ टू प्रेजेंट कथकली, कलर्स ऑफ महाराष्ट्र टू देम. ONGC में हमने पूरा एक इंडिया की झांकी दिखाई उन्हें विद इन अ स्पैन ऑफ 20 मिनट्स. अभी भी रिसेंटली वापी में एक प्रोग्राम हुआ जहाँ पे जैन मंदिर की भव्य ओपनिंग थी. वहाँ पर उन्हें कथकली देखना था विद गंगा आरती. सो देयर वाज अ वेरी नाइस अमैलगमेशन ऑफ नॉर्थ एंड साउथ. सो पीपल आर एक्सप्लोरिंग इंडियन ट्रेडिशंस, and we just be lucky to be here at the right moment and right time with the right talent that we have in hand. Then schools and colleges are opting for themes which are folk and classical. मेरी एक ex-student है, she is heading the cultural department. So to say all my students are doing so beautifully in the cultural department of their respective streams that they've taken. वहाँ मुझे छाऊ करते हुए लोग देखने मिले, और professors themselves were a part of it, like they had an extra marks for it. So I'm also looking forward to collaborating now with the Bharatnatyam troupe and bringing across something which is more original in terms of an entire storyline for Ganpati. और अभी recently मैंने कबीर के दोगों पे एक performance किया था.
Hi, welcome Sonia.
Hi Mandeep. So whatever I was doing, I'm continuing doing the same thing, but I'm doing more of that. My practice getting intense, my classes, my contribution to the society, my fun, my love for animals is just getting bigger and bigger. I have had the honor of being recognized as 100 Inspiring Women of 2023 by Fox Story India.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
this really was a proud moment. So, you know that I've been running marathons and all. So, a lot of different organizations are recognizing me. Few of the runs, I am being ambassador of that. We're planning for another run marathon. So, I am a part of the admin team where we discuss the route and everything we need to take care during the marathon. So, the good thing about the DC of Gurgaon is he himself is a runner. We had spent good 4 or 5 hours just discussing all this thing in his office. I have had the opportunity to share my journey and my experience in a couple of newspapers. So a lot of my articles got published. I think I look forward to the travel. I finish one travel and then I start planning for my next travel. You know how crazy I am about traveling, whether it's in India or abroad. So last year, I traveled 3 countries, Australia and New Zealand, covered most of the part of UK. Insta is also contributing to my growth because I'm collaborating with a lot of companies. You know, they are calling me for events. I'm hosting events also. So last year, I did 2 amazing courses. I spent like 3 months studying the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and I'm also reading some spiritual books. And I did chakra awareness, and I also, Sangeeta, I learned astrology and numerology from her.
Welcome back, Madhushree.
So glad that we are doing this once again. I used to be just a food stylist, but now we are so much more. I am so much more. Now I am running a full-fledged agency where we are doing a lot of branding work.
Okay.
So from pure execution, my role has now come to ideating. There are many people to do the execution. We are working with a lot of FMCG brands now compared to what we used to do before. It was only food and beverage industry. It is also giving us a much larger landscape or foodscape to work with. Godrej Vikroli Kuchina, they come out with this food trends report every year. So Anindya and I, we are the Eastern India editors for that particular book. More than 500 important people across the country, all chefs, people in the food world, we get their opinion. Then the food trend report comes out every year. We are part of this academy called Culinary Culture.
Okay.
It is an academy which is founded by Mr. Sameer Sen and Mr. V. Sangvi. We give awards to chefs. So every year we have 2 awards. One is we give 30 top chefs of the country. So the award is irrespective of whether the chef is leaving that particular institution where he's working or not. He can carry on the award with himself. Unlike a Michelin, where the star remains with the restaurant and not the chef. And this year we also launched the restaurant awards. So in restaurant awards, we have rated restaurants. We've given 3 stars, 4 stars and 5 stars. It was just launched last month. And also this entire thing is not paid. So we don't take sponsorships from anyone. Our first book that we did was this gentleman who commissioned the book to us. His mother was 93 years old at that time, and she had traveled the world, and she would write down recipes in a chit in lucid handwriting without any measurements, and it was all in Bengali. So the grandchildren actually wanted to come out with a book of their grandmother's recipes. And it took us almost 6 months to complete this project. Then the second book, which was really close to our hearts, was the book by Karen Anand. It was Karen's 20th book, if I'm not wrong. And this book is called Masala Main Sai. And this book was done during COVID. She had sent out all the recipes to me, and I would tell Karen, okay, tomorrow we are going to do this and this recipe. We would cook it, style it, go on a WhatsApp call. She would give her input to the thing. We did about 30 recipes for that book. Each recipe would take us 1 whole day. Karen went around the country, opening the book in different lit fairs. So it was a huge achievement, and she's written beautiful things about us in that book. So it was, and also 2 of my recipes also has featured in that book.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Which ones?
The third book, it has not come out yet. It was the Bible of Bengali cookbooks called Bangla Rannaghar. It was the first Bengali cookbook written in English by Meenakshi Dasgupta. Her daughter had commissioned the book to us because the book went out of print. So they want to redo it. So we did, I think, some 50, 60 recipes in that. We have cooked and we have shot them. Unfortunately, the daughter also passed away. Now her son is going to take it out. Yes. There is no Bengali who has not read that book. It is that big. Also, I have to tell you, we have just been commissioned another book this month. And this one is just not going to be about photography. Here we are also going to be writing.
Yeah, which is something both of you like.
Like from Christmas, we are working on retainership with a brand called Mio Amore. Now, Mio Amore is the largest bakery brand in Eastern India. The amount of money they spend on hoardings, it's everywhere that you go across the town. We're like, oh, that's our picture. Oh, that's our pictures. I think the last time we met you, we had only one intern. Right now, we have 4 interns and 4 full-time people. So this Pujo, we went to Bangalore for a 12-day.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah.
And Mandeep, it was so well received. I had tears almost every day at lunch service. The best part about this was when people came and they ate the food and they were like, oh my God, I remember my mother.
Hey, welcome back, Ritika.
Thank you so much. I feel like I'm home. So much is happening, and I think being a typical type A personality, I think for those who understand Punjabi, which you will keep basuriyan bahut sari dali. So I have my fingers in so many pies around. From the last conversation we had, I think the most exciting thing that I've been doing the last 6 months is that I've turned an RJ on radio. So there is this entrepreneurship program that I do. It's called the Startup Story with Ritika Singh. And we get some of the most amazing entrepreneurs. And I mean amazing, not in terms of the senior ones or established ones, but even those who are looking and, to grow and they don't get a platform to talk about. So I'm pulling them out of their, so-called shells and saying, aao idhar aur chalo. So that's been going well. We've done about, I think, 35 so far. 35 interviews. So the most interesting thing is this is the only channel in North India which plays only English music. We don't do Hindi and Punjabi. It's called Capital 90.8 FM. I was initially very skeptical because I wasn't sure whether, people I don't know, how will I, get the best out of them. But somehow God has been kind and they just kind of open up and it's an easy breezy conversation. We have a great editing team, so it's all worked out well. There are so many things people have said which they बाद में मुझे phone करके बोल रहे हैं edit. मैं कहा अब तो कुछ नहीं edit होगा, अब तो जो चला गया सो चला गया. Recently had this gentleman who said that मैं तो मैडम बहुत ही ज़्यादा नालायक हूँ. And I was, sir, you know that we are on radio and this is not going to get edited. He said, no. I said, sir, you do understand you have 2 daughters who will be listening to say, oh, no, ma'am, you please go ahead and say, मैं तो बहुत बड़ा नालायक. So, there's so many interesting perspectives, so many types of people. So it's been a great journey and I hope to continue it for the next 6 months. And I love the fact that now people call me an RJ and then they say, oh, you are the RJ. We've heard your voice on, and it's because it's a local community channel. So people outside don't know me that much. But the good news is that the owners have applied for a bigger license, so which means Bombay, Delhi will be covered as well at some stage. I don't know if I mentioned about CII. They have a women vertical called the India Women Network. So I'm the co-chair and I take over as the chair sometime in August, September this year. So that's a huge responsibility again. So trying to figure out ki kya karna hai, kaise karna, and I think the most important part is not to just do events, but try and do something which is far more impactful. I mean, I may not impact 30 women, but if I can really, really add value to businesses of 5 women, personally, professionally, I think we would have done a good job.
What do you think about what's happening with women now? What is great about it and what is it that you don't like what's happening out there?
We've gone from being just the housewife. Now we think we are the housewife and we can be, successful professionally and do it all. I feel I couldn't do it if I didn't have my sister. So my sister is right now working to make sure Leela does well in her academics. My mom takes care of something. I have friends who help me and, take some of my load.
I don't want to put it diplomatically because I've been observing and I feel that, till a particular level in the organization, women keep on rising. And I think as you go up, it becomes challenging. There are not too many sponsors for women at the top. Still, we are a minority, whatever efforts, the organizations have been making. And, despite the conscious effort, you will still see only a handful of women making to the top. Other thing which also kind of saddens me, honestly, is for the event, if you need a host or something like that, why a women is picked up for that? Why? Is it like a women is only a showpiece? Most of the time, the one on the podium who's hosting the show or the event is a woman. And she might not be very senior in the organization, but she's all decked up and on the stage with that beautiful smile. She'd be, kind of hosting it. And then only the women would be carrying all those gifts for the panelists and all. Why is it this way? Why should we be treated that way?
Women in this hustle of patriarchy, blah, 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 should not behave like victims. Personally, I have been nurtured in an ecosystem where I have had huge support from the men members of the family, and not even family, like my bosses, my friends, overall my ecosystem has been very supportive.
Yeah.
Having said that, I know of friends and people who've not had a very great experience. So I would say, rather than women versus men thing, let's look forward to being good humans. Like people ask me that, what have been your challenges as a women entrepreneur? I always say whatever the challenges have been, it has been as an entrepreneur, not as a women entrepreneur.
I like the point that they want to take the initiative, because they can take an initiative even in hip hop format or something which is more modern and Western, or salsa, which has been doing the rounds for a couple of years. But they've been now coming back to the roots. The theme have been elements, roots, Prithvi, Earth. They're using those words because they want to connect back. Maybe reaching out to the right people or maybe the right globes. That would help. But other than that, I'm enjoying what is happening around. It's very nice, very positive. So it works.
Earlier, in other times, it used to be guys. The health field is used to be there. The bodybuilder has to be a guy. But not anymore. Women I see are just doing phenomenal job, incredibly amazing job.
The kind of confidence that you would see in women and girls in, let us say, a Bombay or a Delhi is very different from what you will see here. What usually happens even today here, any community, any association, anything that we're talking about, you walk into a room full of people and you would 99% see that the 10-15 women who are in the room are banded together, are either sitting together or they're in one corner of the room. They don't take up any space. You will never see a woman in the center of the room. So this was something that I try to do, is to encourage every woman to go and speak to other people. You are here for business. It is your job to network, irrespective of what the sex or the age or the gender of the person is there. You're in a networking community. So then I would push one of them and say, okay, no, you go and you talk to so-and-so, or let me make an introduction. But overall, even the body language is such that they don't want to take up too much space in the room.
Oh my God.
This is something that I want to change here. And this is why I've been very passionate about joining, groups or associations where there are, lots and lots of women. What I in particular love about the women today is that age is just a number for them, and they just, मुझे तो लग रहा है वो बेसर्क ही हो गए सारे के वो कहते हैं, वो आजकल वो गाना चला हुआ ना कि आज शेर खुल गए, वो मतलब शेरनियां खुल गई हैं सारी, and suddenly all those pinjaras have gone. So I think, which is a phenomenally awesome thing, but I think we still need to, as individuals, and I'm not saying as women, need to still find our centers. Yes, a couple of days back I was at this Chandigarh club. They had a fete. And it was very heartening to see young girls, aunties, so many women stalls. कोई अचार बना रहा है, कोई jewelry बेच रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, some boutique, something. So this was a new thing, and I realized that most of these stalls did not have men.
And that's a wrap. And that's a wrap. And that's a wrap.